Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for this weird and awkward first live rant. As the title says, Will Smith is the topic for the day. He is a narcissistic, vain, ego maniac who likes to assault people. Yeah, just bare bones. That's what it is. He has what's now being called the slap known round the world. He decided that it was okay for him to just go up on stage and slap Chris Rock. Why? People all over the world insult people everywhere, and nobody goes up and just hauls off on anyone. Now, if you are allowed to simply assault anyone and everyone for just saying anything they want, this would be an entirely different world. We're at a time when it's not okay, but we had 5 years of idiocy before administrations that we have now that allowed this stupidity. I mean, all of this here, everything you see right here, it's not okay. It's not all right. In the real world of things, if Chris Rock and Will Smith were on the street and he said something about his wife, confront him. Okay. Say something. Do something. Sorry, checking the mic. And okay. Things are different then. Things can be communicated, things can be said at that point with someone. You could have done it there. Chris Rock is a comedian. He is paid to be a comedian, to make people laugh, to crack jokes at other people's expense. That's what he does. How do you justify him doing his job and you going up there and just hauling off on his face? Especially for the fact that his jokes weren't A, that bad, and B, you were laughing at them. You were laughing at them. You're sitting here and laughing. It's her face. Her face at the look of, that's not okay. That made him go up and haul off on Chris Rock. If you don't think that's the case, look at the picture. Look at that. He's laughing at the jokes. She's not nearly amused at all. For a G.I. Jane joke, G.I. Jane was a freaking beast. I understand that it was a choice to shave her hair in the movie, and it's not a choice for Jada Pinkett Smith to lose her hair for alopecia, and I get that. But comics crack jokes about everything all the time, as if Harvey Weinstein jokes haven't been going around for years. But one joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair happens to set Will Smith off after he laughs about it, after he enjoys it. Then he's got to be some big, oh, it's my wife, I've got to be bravadoed. Oh. BS. You didn't want to go home with your wife and not defend her so that she wouldn't all of a sudden start having a new affair with somebody else because you have an open relationship. If you want to do that, great. That's your business. You have all the whatevers you want to have in your life. That's fine. But you don't get to take that out on everybody else because your wife likes to canoodle with anyone else because you have an open relationship. If you chose that, that's your choice. You can't be mad at them cracking jokes about your lifestyle that you made public on her own podcast or vlog, whatever you want to call it. Great. You sat at a table with Jada Pinkett Smith, your wife, and you decided that you're going to air everything out and you guys are going to let it all hang out. He doesn't look amused at all. He wasn't amused in the conversations. Yet, Still public, still okay for them to vent that out and say that she's sleeping around with everybody else. He has a feud back in the 90s with Eminem because he starts talking about how he doesn't have to curse and he gets records, and then has a diss record where he's not cursing at Eminem. That goes back and forth. But there was no altercation, no physical violence. No one was arguing with each other in the streets. No one's punching each other. Great. Someone else is banging your wife, Will Smith. Someone else is probably going to go home with your wife if you don't defend her. Probably what's going to go through his brain after he already laughed at the joke. How do you justify yourself? How do you justify an assault on another human being? How do the public justify what he's done? You can't, and you shouldn't. He should have been escorted out of that award show. He should have had charges brought up against him by Chris Rock. But he's not going to do that because it's an entertainer and an entertainer. They're just not going to go that way. I'm also not the person to say they're probably not going to do it because they don't want to have something coming out against a black-on-black crime. If there was some underlying BS from 2016 when Chris Rock talked about Jada Pinkett Smith boycotting the award show, then was like him boycotting Rihanna's panties. If you're not invited, you can't boycott it. Again, nothing to be upset about. Literally zero to be all pissed off about. All this did was take away from everything else that happened at that show. The first LGBTQ person to be a winner of an Oscar. It's huge. That should be headlines. It shouldn't be the slap heard around the world, but it is. That's why I'm here now. That's why I've chosen to do my first live podcast on this. Clickbaity, whatever the hell you want to call it, great. But you're watching it live now, and you're going to be searching for it later. Why? Because that's what we want. We want the drama. Everyone in the world cares about the drama. It deflects from everything else that we've got going on in the world. You're hearing news outlets talking about this all over. NPR is talking about this. There's a war in Ukraine, and this will slapping Chris Rock is the biggest news and biggest search on Google. Ridiculous. We have people all over this country who are having problems with drug addiction. People that are having problems with domestic violence. This is helping. We have a problem of a corrupt government system that is being justified by the people and soon to be justified by the courts. We have an attorney general in New York, district attorney maybe, who's rejecting a lawsuit to go after Donald Trump for illegal activity. And this is what's on everyone's mind. This entire idea of it's okay because he's defending his wife is bull. If there was an assault on his wife physically, all right. Will Smith didn't have to laugh at the joke. He couldn't have found it funny if he didn't want to, but he found it funny. He laughed. He could have also heckled him from the crowd like people do at comedy shows. People don't get up out of their seat, walk across the stage to slap someone on the face because they were offended by a joke. They leave. Did you leave Will Smith? Did you leave Jada Pinkett Smith? No, you didn't. You sat there throughout all of it. And then on top of that, you got an Oscar. That should have been pulled. His actions right off the bat shouldn't have let that happen. They should have pulled the Oscar from him. And if they wanted to, pull the entire portion, that whole trophy ceremony for that, if they want to give it to him. Do not give him the microphone. They let him talk longer than anyone else has been able to talk on that show. They didn't play him out. And he boo-hooed and blubbered and cried and apologized to the Academy. You and the Academy. You need to apologize to the person you assaulted. You physically went out of your way to assault. That's where the apology needed to come from. You didn't even do that. You couldn't even bring yourself to do that. And since that happened, the internet's been flooded with pictures of you two together. Will Smith and Chris Rock were buddies. There's some deep-seated underlying bull. You're getting away with an assault. And to make it a race thing, if that was a white person hitting a black man, the world would have erupted. If it was a black man hitting a white man, the world would have erupted. And because it's two people of the same race, they're just talking about what's happening. Oh, why do that? It's crap. It's assault, no matter how you want to look at it. He should have been arrested. Anyone outside of any of this in a club would have been kicked out of a club and probably had the police called. It doesn't matter. We shouldn't be making stipulations because you have money or don't have money. If you hit someone, you belong in jail. It is the other person's option to choose to bring charges against you. Chris Rock chose not to. Good on him. Good for him to not bring things out further if he doesn't want to. If he wants to, sucks to be you, Will. Make a rap song about what you've done, what wrongs you have done. Or maybe get therapy. You and your wife have an open relationship where she's banging other people. You had a dispute with Tupac when he was alive. You need therapy. You need to figure out what's going on, because whatever's going on in your head with your relationship is not something that is healthy. And by putting it on display publicly on one of the most watched Oscar award shows of all time just shows the stupidity of what's about to happen. Make it legitimate to assault people, to hit them when you disagree with them. We already have a problem in this country with people having disputes with everyone, calling everyone's facts fake news, having a problem with actual unbiased journalism, with people with different opinions than others. We have people daily yelling and screaming at everyone, belittling everyone, berating everyone, and freaking bringing up potential assault charges on them. And saying they're going to do things. They're going to assault people, blow them up. They're going to stalk them. They have threats of violence nonstop in this country to people like teachers for no reason. And people that watched that show, watched that happen, now have a justifiable reason to do the same thing. Because he did it on TV. Will Smith did it, and he's a nice guy. He's got a song saying he's a nice guy. That's where we're at. We're allowing the country to use TV and social media as well as celebrities to be indicative of what the world is okay with, what this country is okay with, and how people decide to justify their actions. This will now be a justification for everything people do in the short-term future. You can say it's not. You can say that I'm out of line. Look at politics. Look at exactly how they do things. When Trump asked Clown himself, said fake news to get away from things so he didn't have to answer questions, politicians started doing the exact same thing. So much so that Putin, even Vladimir Putin, who is doing an absolutely god-awful, worldly unjustified, murderous tyrant on a country. He's bombing nurseries. He's bombing maternity wards. He's bombing hospitals. He is trying to commit genocide on the Ukrainian people. And when he's called out on it, saying it's fake news. So tell me when celebrities do things and use things as their justifications that it's not going to come down line as somebody else using that as their defense. It's crap. It's exactly what's going to happen. It's exactly what's going to happen on this. Why? Because people are watching it. They're trying to figure out how he got around this, how he did this. In 3-4 weeks, when it comes out that that slap was just an act. Oh, he was just trying something. He was just doing something different. Oh, it wasn't a real slap. It was just him trying to figure things out. Crap. That's all it is. I thought when I first watched it, when he came up on stage and this happened, I thought this was totally fake. I absolutely thought that. I thought, no way, it looks like he stomped his foot and wasn't real. I couldn't rationalize the Fresh Prince physically assaulting someone the way he did. I couldn't rationalize it in my brain. I don't understand how he can rationalize it in his brain to do this to somebody, to his friend. I think I ended up seeing a YouTube video of this in some other language where it wasn't censored yet before Adam Schefter on ESPN put it up. ESPN of all places, playing this. Not talking about other things that are necessary besides the Aaron Rodgers deal and everything that kind of goes along with that. But this is what everyone's talking about. Why? Because it's what everyone wants to hear about. There is never a reason to assault anyone for no justification. You can say what you want to say. You can say that it was all there and he had the right to do it. And you're wrong. He didn't have the right to do that. No one has the right to go up and physically assault someone, especially out of nowhere. No one has the right to walk across a stage to assault someone. Can you imagine if this happened in the play Hamilton? If someone disagreed with how that play was going and took it personally offensive, got out of their seat, walked up on stage, and assaulted one of the actors. Would we be having a discussion about how that was okay and justifying that? Would we be okay with that person not being hauled out of the theater and being arrested? No. Stop making excuses. Stop rationalizing and justifying that a celebrity can do whatever they want because they're a celebrity, because they have money. That does not make you a better person. Most of us have met celebrities and athletes, performers in the real world. Most of us have genuine good stories about them. But we also have some genuinely bad stories about them. How poorly they've treated people. How horrible they have been to their fans. How do you allow those actions to not sour you on someone? I also want to know why the hell my Pandora decided to play Big Willie style when I had it on random. That just shows you that when I was playing Pandora during my workday, people were searching Will Smith on Pandora to listen to it while they were celebrating him, I'm assuming, or they hate Chris Rock and thought it was a fun thing to do. But the algorithm for Pandora plays things that most people are choosing to listen to or play, which shows you people were condoning this. If people weren't condoning it, I would have heard Chris Rock's stand-up coming up. I am not defending Chris Rock's not poor. I don't think it was a horrible joke. It wasn't the best joke. But that's what he gets. And you also can't be someone that is against Chris Rock saying this and then also defend the freedom of speech. Where do you lie? You can't pick and choose what you want to allow and don't want to allow. Chris Rock is a paid comedian who read off of a script which had to be approved before he read it, which means his joke was not a shock to the people at the Oscars or on TV. They all knew about it. I can't even guarantee Chris Rock even wrote that joke. But it was already there. It was already approved to go on. Because if it went too far, they wouldn't have allowed it. It was scripted. What wasn't scripted was his comment after the fact of, that was a softball. It was an easy one. That was him being him. What wasn't scripted was a man laughing at a joke, then getting out of his seat to go and assault someone. That was not scripted. Again, never, ever is it okay for anyone to justify assaulting somebody else. Never is it okay to use that justification on anyone individually or publicly. Celebrities should not get away with everything. They're just people like everybody else. And Will Smith is an unhinged lunatic. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for tuning in. Please leave some comments down below here on the YouTube and let me know what you thought of this, the first live rant. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more rants coming up. Thank you, and I can't wait to be in your eyes and ears next time.